I went really more for whether or not it was valid. And so what I learned was that this is a theory called the learning theory for the digital age. And so I did a lot of history or a lot of research on the history of it, which was theories like behaviorism. It mainly came around because theories like behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism were developed in a time when learning was not manipulated through technology. So those really seem to be a time before the digital age and before technology really kind of took hold. And so it said that these theories, behaviorism, constructivism, and cognitivism, basically said that learning only occurred with inside of a person, not what happens, outside of the person. So it didn't really focus on how learning happens within an organization, and so that it didn't realize that learning that is stored and manipulated by technology is also important, which would have been the beginning of the digital age. So kind of what is cognitive or connectivism. So it explains how people currently learn in a network and digital world, it believes that learning is not controlled by learners due to changing environments and innovations, changing in discipline. So in this view, learners must unlearn what they've known from the past and learn how to relearn and kind of reevaluate the new information. And this really makes me think about, kind of older generations being forced into learning through technology. And so it says that, learning is a process of connecting specialized nodes and information sources, how capable many more are than others is critical to what we currently know. And so kind of the critiques about this theory is that the thesis that knowledge is distributed across the network of connections, and therefore that learning consists of the ability to construct and traverse those networks. And so it says it should not be considered a learning theory because it lacks the capacity to explain what constitute learning, and says if a learning theory cannot explain all facets of human behavior, then it cannot explain any, which to me, it doesn't, I don't know. I kind of think that now it does explain. I think that using technology explains multiple different facets of human behaviors. I think that we have changed because of technology. I think a lot of our human behaviors have changed because of technology. So I personally think that's kind of important to look into. So kind of my personal opinion, like I said, I think it's important because of our day and age with technology. It's kind of the most important tool that we have. Obviously I went through a time of education in high school when, we weren't really using books, or going to the library to find like an encyclopedia or anything like that. We were really focused on, you did a lot of your research at home on Google, looking through peer supported, articles that you're finding online. You're not having to go search through, a bunch of information. Kind of technology did it all for you. So it definitely grew up education wise kind of easier. Information was at the tip of our fingertips. You could literally Google everything. And so also, though, it makes me think about, learning Excel and Word and PowerPoint and research and, creating connections. When I was being in college, I was in online classes still doing group projects that would have never been able to be done unless it was through technology and being able to Skype and all these different kinds of things. And I even think about classes now that I'm taking, where we're using Zoom and all these other different forums online. You don't even have to be in the classroom to learn anymore. So I think for them to say that it's not as important or it's not a learning theory, I think is insane, because I think that technology is so important to us now. I think about getting a job. They ask you how much experience you have with things like Word and Excel and all that kind of stuff. And, a lot of places are going to give a job to somebody who's got more technology experience, or, I get made fun of at work all the time for being a millennial, but I also get asked to fix everybody's phones and their computers. And when something goes wrong technology wise, they do come to the kind of younger generation. So, I think it's a really important thing that people should think about when it comes to learning, because it's completely changed how we learn. It's a lot easier now, I think, because of technology.